आत्मनः गुणदोषेण बंध्यते सुखसारिका वकाह तत्र न बध्यते मौनम सर्वार्थ साधनम. Communication, according to human being, we think it is based on our speaking. But Vedic scripture says silence is more important than your speeches. And while talking about the speeches, scripture says there are 4 types of speeches. The first one is Paravani, second one is Pasyanti, third one is Madhyama, and fourth one is Vaikhari. Vaikhari is the least powerful way of communication. And what is Vaikhari? When you speak, when the sound goes in the air and you are not having any control over it, then it is called Vaikhari. So we human thinks that speaking is the most important tool human being has. But reality is that silence is the most important tool you can ever have. Vaikhari always creates trouble and problem. For example, if you and your spouse are angry to each other, you start talking to your spouse, he doesn't hear you. You want to say your things and he wants to say his things. You are not interested in listening to each other. And that is why these days, in the world of mobile communication, more and more relationships are breaking. Because partners are not ready to listen to each other. Instead, what was 50, 60 years back, when there was a miscommunication between you and me, I will write a letter to you. And the benefit of letter writing, a benefit of sending an email is that he reads it, the whole thing, what you want to say first. And then he reacts to it. Otherwise, in Vaikhari, where speech is involved, you only want to say, you do not want to listen. But ideal method of communication is listening more and speaking less. How much more and how much less? Divine has provided us 2 ears. And what is the function of ears? To listen. And Divine has provided me only 1 mouth. What is the function of mouth? To eat, to breathe, and to speak. So 1 mouth has 3 functions, and 2 ears has 1 functions. So basically, in case you can learn in the communication to hear 6 times to 8 times more than you speak, communication will always be perfect, it will be right, you will have no problems. But we do, and we try to do other way around, and that is why we are always in problem. So the four stages of speech which are described is Vaikhari. Vaikhari is one where you lose your control and you speak in the air. Before that is Madhyama. Madhyama is when thought is in your mind, in your throat, your lips are moving, your tongue is moving, but you have not yet spoken. You are still in control. You are still in control. Whatever you want and whenever you want, you can stop it. And from Madhyama to Vaikhari, there are 3 tests. One test is whether it is necessary to speak. Madhyama is there, you want to speak something, so send this to the test that whether it is necessary to speak this what I want to speak. When answer goes yes, go ahead to the second test. And if answer is no, drop it. And second test is it truth enough to speak? Am I speaking truth to the best of my knowledge and belief before I speak? If yes, take it to the third test, and if no, drop it. And third test is with whomever I am going to communicate this, whether she will like it or not, whether he will like it or not. So when your speech passes all these 3 tests, liking, truth, and necessity to speak, then only make Madhyama into Vaikhari. Before that, before Madhyama comes in, sound is in the state of Pasyanti. Pasyanti is when your thoughts are present in your heart. When thoughts are present in the heart, you can see them by your eyes. And there is a very famous saying, you cannot hide your love. Why? It is visible. So, and when it is visible, can it ever be a lie? When I am not communicating with you, you are understanding what is present in my heart. When you are not communicating with me, but you are understanding what is present in each other's heart, then it has to be truth. It has to be liked. And you will only try to communicate when it is necessary, with whomever it is necessary. So, this is the second stage of communication. Fourth is Vaikhari, third is Madhyama, second is Pasyanti. And before that, connection takes place between 2 individuals, between an individual and the universe, between a human individual and the divine, by Paravani. And Paravani is one that resides in our navel chakra, solar plexus. When connection takes place between 2 individuals, guru and disciple, let us say, there is no need to communicate, there is no need to see. We just close our eyes and whatever informations we want gets taken. And there the question of lies doesn't exist. Questions of liking and disliking doesn't exist. Communication can be done with the help of the connection. And that is why this verse which I have chosen today to discuss says, because parrots speak too much, you start liking them. You like parrots. And when you like the parrots, what you do? You try to make it pet. And how do you make it pet? By putting it in the prison, in the cage. When you speak nice, there is a possibility that you can get the cage. Somebody will like you, and when somebody likes you, they will try to bind you. When you want to be free, you must try to speak less. By speaking less, nobody ever tries to bind you. You are to yourself, and you are connected with Source. You are connected with the universe. Communication keeps happening still. There are many other ways of communication than speaking directly. And that is why I always make a point to call for silence retreats, not speaking retreats, but silence retreats. For speaking, you don't have to learn anything, you can speak always. But silence, in case you want to master, you have to learn it to master. And when you can master silence, your Vaikhari starts going to Madhyama, your Madhyama starts going to Pasyanti, and your Pasyanti starts going to Paravani. And when that happens, a permanent connection takes place. And this permanent connection can never create trouble and problem. You can never separate to each other. If you and your spouse can communicate through Paravani, separation is not possible. We must learn to know to communicate from the core of your heart and from the core of your navel. Thank you so much.